I've got very important message to send to the most powerful man in the world. Dear President of United States of America, dear Mr. Donald J. Trump, please leave our beloved BBC alone. Yes, they've done wrong. Yes, they did edit your video, but they cannot survive next lawsuit. Please, they barely make £5 billion per year. How do you want them to pay between 1 to 5 billion for this lawsuit? It is impossible for this size of the company. Plus, what do you think, who will pay this? Dear Mr. President, all the money, 70% of this 5 billion of income per year for BBC, coming off the back of the hard-working British citizen and also people who's living in the UK and who's paying TV license fees. 3.9 billion out of 5 billion income. It's coming out from TV licenses fees. So please forgive them. And you have to admit, they show some creativity. All right, it's time to finish sarcasm. All right, so today we're gonna talk about this whole lawsuit that Trump actually Trump actually threat to BBC for his speech that he gave in 2021. I'm gonna show you this speech now and tell me what do you think. What do you think about this level of creativity from the BBC company? Because I believe it's on the highest level. I think they're supposed to start separate division that's supposed to make movies. Because this edit is on the highest level.
We're gonna walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not gonna have a country anymore. We're gonna walk down to the Capitol, and we're gonna cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country
I think that's
anymore.
enough for you to understand what's happening in here. So the first part of the video is the video that our beloved BBC posted in 2024. And that's what this all fuss is about, because the bottom video is the original. So Donald J. Trump said, like, we're gonna go to the White House and we're gonna cheer our brave senators and stuff like that. So what BBC have done is they cut out the middle part. So the video ended up like, we're gonna go to the White House and we're gonna fight, blah blah blah. So you can see creativity level of BBC is 110% in the scale of 0 to 100. So why is it very important for us? First thing, it's obviously happening in our front garden or the back garden, if you live in the UK like me. Another thing is I want to really touch up on BBC, because me personally, I had no clue that my TV license fees I used to pay actually going to the BBC. I was sure that the TV license fees going straight to the government or one of the departments of the government. I had no clue that it's actually going to the BBC. And it's very interesting that BBC is only thriving or surviving because of people who's actually paying BBC, paying TV license fees. Obviously, I got some statistics here which are interesting, because I got the last decade of BBC license fee statistic, and you won't believe what I found in there. It's crazy. Did you know that the TV license fee existed for almost 100 years? But that is not important part. That is not exciting part. Exciting part is that in 2015, BBC used to charge TV license fee of amount of £145 and 50 pence. That's 2015, right? And 25.6 million people paid TV license fee. And BBC made 3.7 billion pounds. Okay, that's 2015. 3.7 billion made for of hardworking class citizen, 25.5 million people. In 2024 and 25, TV license fee, almost 2 million people opt out from paying TV license fee, which gave us 23.8 million people still paying TV license fee. But you know what is interesting? BBC made almost £1 billion more than 10 years ago. So you see the statistic, like 2 million people opt out. They don't want to pay TV license. They're not watching TV, whatever the reason is. And still BBC made £1 billion more than in the last decade, in 2015. It is crazy. And how that actually came out is because TV license fees went up in the last decade from £145 to £169, plus £25 in a year time, which seems not as much if you think about it's 10 years, right? And it's an annual payment, which is not bad. But BBC has a problem because people opting out, that's how you say it, I guess, from paying TV license fee. As we can see, they lost 2 million people so far. But how many people they will lose if this trend will go down? What they have to do to keep people paying TV license fees? In my opinion, this number, the 23.8 million people still paying TV license fee, it will go down. It will tank in the next 5 years or decade. Why is that? I think there is 3 reasons for that. First thing, BBC is losing credibility. After this, what they're doing, for example, what we've seen just with Trump. And another reason is, I think the young people just moving away from the traditional TV. They don't really want to watch traditional TV. No one knows what is ITV4 or whatever the British TV is. I don't know. I'm not watching. And that is the second reason. But the third reason is, just imagine the people who grew up on the traditional TV, which was people my age, people older than me, right? We've been living in time where you've been always going home at 7 p.m. because there was a cartoon and you had to be on time because there was no Netflix, there was no YouTube, there was no Prime. So we had to be on time because we want to watch something. Now, no one is doing that. People who grew on traditional TV, they're just passing away. The old, I don't want to say old people, but probably I can say old people. Old people just passing away. The guys who only watch TV. The people who are like 50, 60, 70 now, they're not really watching internet TV or YouTube, any streaming platforms. They're not really into that. So they are paying TV license fees, but they slowly passing away. And this number, I believe, will go down. Coming back to the credibility, I believe it's extremely important what Trump is doing now. I think it is one of the biggest, that can be one of the biggest change that will be in the world in regards of news, because we've seen so much bullshit in the news. They lie and they do whatever they want. But if For example, BBC would lose a lawsuit with this how you call it, I think that probably will be the biggest lawsuit when it comes to the news information. That will change the game. I believe people would have to be more careful what they say. News in general, not only BBC, but all the news has to be more careful what they're posting, because if that's happen again, you might have to pay. Your company might not survive. Now, quick fix from me. Did I say they made 1 billion more between last 10 years? Sorry, the number is 100 millions. It's only 100 millions more from 2015 to 2025. The difference. It's not 1 billion, it's 100 million, because in 2015 they made 3.7 billion and in 2025 they made 3.8.5 billion. So that's a quick fix. And I don't know, it's crazy because people getting smarter now. I believe as a foreigner who came to the UK 15 years ago, my first house I did rent was a small house, and within I think 3 weeks I received a letter that you have to pay TV license. And as a guy who's coming to the foreign country, you are very scared. You think like they can kick you out at any time. Like you're gonna throw some rubbish on the street, and they can send you back. So you are pretty careful what you're doing, and you don't want to break any law or any rules. So I used to pay TV license. I used to pay because I was thinking that's how it is. Everyone has to pay. I'm not sure if the rules changed. That before, if you used to watch Netflix, you supposed to pay. I'm not sure if that's changed, because I'm pretty sure that's how okay, let's put it a different way. That's how I thought, that if I'm watching any TV, like even Netflix or Amazon Prime, Disney, whatever, I have to pay TV license. That's why I've been paying. And probably I thought as well it's gonna unlock some porn sites, porn channels or something. Anyway, yes. And I used to pay. But then when I realized I'm not watching TV, I'm not watching traditional TV. I'm watching Netflix, I'm watching YouTube, I'm watching Amazon Prime, I'm watching Paramount, I'm watching anything. And I'm paying for these subscriptions. I'm paying for the access to these movies. So why should I pay TV license fee? And now it's very, very interesting thing, because how BBC gonna make money? Just imagine if, for example, 5 million people would opt out within the next 5 years. That is a massive drop in income for the BBC. They have to make money another way. And it's gonna be really interesting, because probably the first and the easiest step to do it would be let's bring up the prices. Instead of £170, let's do it 200. And they would make money back, obviously, but I don't think people will pay it, because we are in very difficult times when it comes to paying bills. I don't think people would do it. Another thing, what they can do to survive, to actually keep this money rolling, is probably they can do some subscriptions. I don't know. They have to find a way. They have to find the way to start making money again somehow. Because I'm telling you now, this number, this 23.8 million people who's paying TV license now, will tank with the next 5 to 10 years. Give it a decade, and this number will be 15 million maybe. Because I also think a lot of people who actually paying TV license are, first, the people who grew up on it, and they are kind of old army of people. And another thing is people who actually watching sport. In the UK, it's really big factor that people watching live sports. And I think those are the people who are actually paying TV license as well. But if all these sports will be available, let's say on YouTube or something, no one will be really gonna pay TV license. Anyway, that's what I did want to touch up on, because it's gonna be very interesting. I'm gonna keep you updated, because I believe soon we're gonna see the officially that Trump will officially file the lawsuit against BBC. And it's gonna be really interesting to see, because it's in our country. I will see you soon, and stay safe.